And we're going to start at just a little before 7:22:11.
Right. Like it was that deep to be trying to kill each other.
Nah, I ain't feel like, why, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, his sister them told me like, yeah, he called him gay and he was talking bad about him to somebody else. So that's where it could have came from. But
so he ain't fucking with him at all.
Like he went, like he been stopped, but I ain't know, you know. So
if you was guessing, who you think killed him now? You're prime suspect, but move yourself out the equation. Who you think did?
I'll probably say that.
I'm just saying, like, word on the street is, you've been tried and convicted within the street.
Now they said two of my other partners was locked up for it, but
who?
They to my head and Doc. But they ain't have nothing to do.
Who was Doc?
Doc locked up.
Who was Doc?
Clarence. I think that's his name. Cause I didn't like him Mexican.
Yeah.
So they saying they
head out though, ain't he? Yeah, head out.
Yeah, head out. They saying they did. You know what I'm saying? They trying to make shit like.
What do you think? Like, I'm not. What do you think? What do you think happened? Like real shit.
I think it got something to do with them. I think they did something.
They had another beef somewhere else.
Cause I been hearing stories like Nut's supposed to ran off on somebody with some. You know what I'm saying? But they just on the coast.
Right.
All these on him because I'm with Thug and Birdman.
Right.
And they come back to them.
Right.
So Nut's supposed to ran off on somebody with some. And
some jury.
I don't know if they didn't say what it was. It's like he's supposed to ran off on them or something. And Rich Homie Quan supposed to give him $50,000 to meet a new plug. Like Rich Homie Quan told me this out of his mouth.
Yeah.
Then Rich Homie Quan like he got $25,000 here, take killed. It's like.
And we're going to pause at 7:24. Oh, excuse me. Let me continue to 7:24:54, which is the entire section.
You showed me? Nah, tell you who just got shot the other night.
Oh, in the car over there. Okay.
He got $25,000 here, take killed.
Who did?
This Rich Homie Quan shit. Cause he be telling me. So I'm telling Rich Homie Quan like, but you got these niggas in your house. You the same nigga that shooting up my house, bro.
Right.
Rich Homie Quan like. He like, bro, they just look like that, bro. Like, we the same shit. I'm like, but still, bro, you out here helping these niggas this and that. So Rich Homie Quan like, bro, it ain't dead. We the same shit. I just can't turn my back on. Like, it ain't dead, bro. You supporting these niggas, bro. So the more you support them, the more they gonna come out and do that. If you leave them alone, then everything gonna go away.
Yeah.
Then you're like, bro, just protect me, bro. We need y'all, bro. I need y'all to protect me. How the hell we gonna protect you? You and these niggas out here doing it.
So that's the conclusion of the entirety of the section, Your Honor. The section that the state does not believe needs to be played is 7:23:33 through 7:24, and that's the period, Your Honor, in which Mr. Copeland says he heard that Nut. He's hearing stories like Nut's supposed to ran off with somebody, you know what I'm saying? And he goes in and says he heard that Nut was supposed to run off with some jewelry. And Your Honor, we believe that that particular portion should not be played, given that it is bad character evidence of the victim. That's a specific act of conduct of the victim, and that is improper under 24-4-405. And it's based in and it's a proper character evidence, Your Honor.
That sounds good. Sure. Man, you know what I'm saying? You've been around. Like, I'll just ask you went there like that.
And that's the entirety of the section, Your Honor.
All right.
But again, the portion that the state has concerns with is from 7:23:33 to 7:24, in which Mr. Copeland says he's hearing stories like Nut's supposed to run off with something, you know what I'm saying? And it goes on to say, yeah, Nut was supposed to ran off on somebody with some jewelry. And that's the entire section. Outside of what we agreed that should be redacted.
Okay.
I think it is on.
It's on.
Green light's on.
All right, sir.
So, Judge, appreciate the opportunity to respond. In this section, there's essentially three different portions as far as I can see. The first portion talks about, Kenneth Copeland talks about Thug's sister saying that Bloody J said that Thug is gay. Speaking for myself, and I believe I'm speaking for everyone else, but if I'm not, please speak up. I don't think that we have a problem with redacting that. That would be hearsay. From 722, about 33 or 35 maybe, to 724. That is a section that talks about what do you think happened? Or if you were to guess, what would you say happened? And Mr. Copeland gives various theories, Head and Doc, and then talks about a theory of that he heard from other people. I concede that he heard it from other people, that Nut ran off with, it sounds like he's talking about drugs, ran off on someone and got himself in trouble. The reason that this is important, it's not for the truth of the matter asserted, as hearsay would be. It's important because the state's theory in this case is that on January 10th, 2015, late at night, Kenneth Copeland went and picked up Demekion Garlington at the McDonald's on Cleveland Avenue. And Demekion Garlington told Kenneth Copeland that it was Shannon Stillwell and Diamante Kendrick and Justin Cobb and Demise McMullen in this car that did the shooting. So according to the state's theory, on January 10th, 2015, Mr. Copeland has that knowledge on that date. This interview is 18 days later. Presumably, if that were true, that Kenneth Copeland was given that information on January 10th, when investigator Dennis says, Mr. Copeland, what do you think happened? Presumably, if he was given that information on January 10th, that is when he would say, this is what I think happened. I think Shannon Stillwell and Diamante Kendrick and Justin Cobb and Demise McMullen were in a car and they shot Donovan Thomas, if the state's theory is correct. But Kenneth Copeland did not answer it that way. Instead, he said, well, Doc and Head, they may have done it, but I really don't think they did it. And I think it had something to do with Donovan Thomas running off with some money on, a bad drug deal. And that's what I've been hearing. So it's not for the truth of the matter asserted. It's impeachment of Kenneth Copeland to show that his story that he was told on January 10th is not accurate.
What exactly is he making up that's relative to this particular section?
He's making up
This particular section of 732-33 to 724.
on June 10th, he is asserting that he has knowledge of this, and he's had knowledge since January 10th. And he's asserting that his knowledge is that the four gentlemen in the car, who the four gentlemen in the car was. And if he had knowledge on January 10th,
Why didn't he say it on the 18th?
why didn't he say it on the 18th?
Okay.
But Sharon, I think, let me
Or
be
the 28th.
The 28th, I should say.
and let me be clear, the section that we're talking about, the conversation about Doc and Head is in this same section. So in the same section between 723, between 723:33 and 724, he talks about Doc and Head, which we agree should come in. In that same section, he also now talks about this rumor of Donovan Thomas stealing some items. That does not directly talk about who killed him. So the Doc and Head part, we agree with. That's a part of this 723:33 to 724 section. So we agree up until, from 722:40 to 723:33 is where he talks about Doc and Head. We agree, that can come in.
All right.
That shows right there. He said Doc and Head on January 28th. Later on in June, he said Shannon, Demekion, and these other individuals. We are specifically talking about a 7-second area between 7:23:33 and 7:24 where he's solely talking about hearing rumors that Nut supposedly ran off with jewelry. That does not directly talk about who killed him. That is him speculating about what theories could have came in as to why he was killed, but it does not directly talk about who killed him. So we think the portion before Doc and Head, fair game. We are only talking about where he's speculating as to whether or not.
But here's the thing: if he had knowledge of that, or what truly happened, and he's just given another version. I heard that Sutton says did this during this particular period of time. That would be impeachment.
But he doesn't even know what happened.
But it says but it's another version he's told that the jury can decide whether or not he's telling the truth about. Yeah, ordinarily, Miss Hilton, it would not be admissible. But given what's been proffered so far, I'm going to probably allow it.
So the other factors I want the court to consider is over objection. You have permitted constantly the state to ask Detective Gaither, Detective Dennis, and if I'm leaving anyone out, I'm not trying to. So anybody on law enforcement, I think maybe Detective Racy as well, based upon, don't tell me what was said, but based upon your investigation, what did you learn? Or what did you do from what you learned? And did you corroborate that? And I don't know. I have no idea where this information came from. And I've asked the court, and I said it's a confrontation clause issue. You've denied it. I have no reports on who they spoke to gather the information that they are now putting to the jury that YSL is a criminal street gang. With Detective Gaither over objection, YSL and the people here are all involved in a criminal street gang, which is the ultimate issue. With that being said, this is a good example of how, and I want to play it for the jury, of how law enforcement gets their information. I want the jurors to be able to see that it's Detective, in this case, Gaither and Detective Dennis. It's the 28th day of January 2015, and they ask, what did you think? Who did you think killed Nut? And then all this conversation flows from that question that the state is trying to keep out, including that Mr. Thomas stole from someone else. And I'm not using it for bad character. Mr. Thomas' bad character is already in evidence. The state brought up that he is the head of a criminal or leader of a criminal street gang. So under 403, which is 24-4-403, it's really specious to say, oh, well, he stole from someone, so that's his character. In addition to that, I disagree respectfully with Mr. Shart. And I want the false allegation that was made that Rich Homie Quan put a contract to kill someone for $25,000 up front and then $50,000 thereafter, because it shows another person falsely accused by Mr. Copeland. And if you listen to the whole thing, I think it was cut off, Mr. Copeland says that he actually spoke with Rich Homie Quan to kind of be the intermediary and to diffuse that situation. So it was redacted by agreement by Mr. Shart. This court accepted that, and I am objecting to it because I intend to cross-examine this witness, and if he doesn't remember, I'm going to play that portion. And because I'm not saying, and I'll make it clear to Mr. Copeland, I disagree that Rich Homie Quan, he's a gentleman. I disagree that he committed any type of offense, but this is the exact statement that Mr. Copeland levels against Mr. Williams, that Mr. Williams put a contract out on Mr. Copeland's life, which is untrue as well. So okay. I'm disagreeing. And those times, if you need them, you already removed them.
I think it's, no, I'm subject to further arguments since you made your issue. So I'm gonna hear them. I'll hear it again, and I'll make a decision on it.
But those are my. So
okay.
I'm not trying to use it for character. I'm not using it for of the alleged victim. I'm not using it for of the victim, the deceased. I'm not using it for any type of, I didn't know, and it's totally speculative. I'm saying that's how the police did their investigation, that the court, through the prosecution, has already poisoned the jury with this, word on the street, we did this, we corroborate, here's how we do it, the person self-admits, or we get information, we corroborate. I think that all should never have come into evidence, and this is a perfect example to show how baseless the prosecution cases against Mr. Williams and the other, and how the detectives have not done a proper investigation. So that's why I wanted it. What do you think happened? Here it is, and I want the whole flow. That's what I'm saying.
Your Honor, as you see, there's nothing in this section that has to do with the murder of Donovan Thomas at all. He's talking about a conversation that he had with Rich Homie Quan about this $25,000, which has nothing to do with the issue at hand in this case, which is who killed Donovan Thomas.
No, not necessarily. If he's got another version of who may have done what, that's impeachment by contradiction, or just straight out impeachment.
But this isn't a version of who killed Donovan Thomas. What they're talking about is who killed.
It doesn't make a difference if he's telling materially different versions of what happened. That potentially is he can be impeached on that.
When you say what happened, what
happened, or how he came to find this information. I mean, if he's given the police different versions of what may have happened.
When you say what may have happened, because what he's
what may have
about,
happened, what he told them.
But when you say what may have happened, Your Honor, in this portion, he is not talking about the murder of Donovan Thomas. He is talking about Rich Homie Quan's father was shot at in September of 2014. In this particular portion, he is only talking about the fact that Rich Homie Quan thought that an individual named Tay shot Rich Homie Quan's father. This has nothing to do with the murder of Donovan Thomas. Okay. So this isn't him giving a version of facts as to the murder of Donovan Thomas. This portion has nothing to do with the crime of who killed Donovan Thomas on January 10th. What he is talking about is only to Corey Lamar, which is Rich Homie Quan's father. So this would not be relevant to the issue at hand, which is who killed Donovan Thomas.
This is Mr. Copeland, who is a huge witness, as the court knows, in this case. And he is lying, my word, to law enforcement about Rich Homie Quan conducting a murder for hire. The state wants to say, well, that's irrelevant because it's a murder for hire of a different person, Tay, T-A-Y. My point is, that is the witness. It is a false allegation against another human being to do a murder for hire. The state doesn't get to limit the cross-examination to what they want it to be. And it goes to the investigation of Detective Dennis, Detective Gaither, who the court has both found over objection to be experts. And they both talked about their investigation. And they both talked about how they went about their investigation without giving specifics or who they spoke with. I have no idea when they say, based upon our investigation, we learned the following. We learned this. I still rely on my constitutional right to have that information, but I don't have it. And this is a prime example that they get garbage. That's my position. Mr. Copeland may say it's absolutely true. The state was going to call Rich Homie Quan. His name's Mr. Lamar, L-A-M-A-R. I guess now they're not. I may call Mr. Rich Homie Quan after it comes out that, if I need to, that he put a killing on someone else. Mr. Copeland may say, yeah, I was lying to the police.
Well, he's done it again. Good old motherfucking YSL Woody, Lil Woody, or Kenneth Copeland, whatever you want to call him, man. So as you seen, it's still basically a motion day as far as, in the court. And they're trying to motion and trying to argue what parts of that video or those videos should actually be played in court or should be allowed to be played in court. And then, wouldn't you know it, we hear a new part of the tape, and YSL Woody is in there talking. I mean, God damn, do you, what happened? No holds barred snitching, just outstanding snitching. Like, who would have guessed that he would have ever said that Rich Homie Quan put a hit on somebody, the guy that was trying to shoot at him, quote unquote, that he says, allegedly, Tay. And this is all alleged, you know what I'm saying? It's speculatory. I don't even, that shit kind of surprised me. Not saying like I wouldn't take Rich Homie Quan for that type, because if somebody shot at your pops or did whatever, ran off with some money, or what they trying to say, dude shot at his pops and then Nut ran off with some money. You never know what somebody would do when it comes to revenge, you know, especially like a nigga in the street, you know what I'm saying? Regardless of who they are. But I'm just like, at this point, at this point, I'm just like this. How can the jury even believe anything that this nigga say if they can prove that it's a lie? And that's what Brian Steele and Sharp and the defense is trying to, they want to show the jury that he be lying in the interrogation room, YSL Woody, to discredit any other footage they may see. You see what I'm saying? Because now the state want to play the video, so now their only defense is whether he be lying in there too, let's prove it. I.e., the Rich Homie Quan shit never happened. That's what the state's saying. They're going to try to prove it that way. Try to expose him for lying. But that nigga just in there talking, bro. Like, my nigga. And then he's talking something. Yeah, I be talking to Rich Homie Quan. Like, he was damn near ready to show the police the DMs or whatever, the text messages with it. Like, he was trying to talk him out of it and shit. Like, you got to be careful who you tell shit to, bro. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it's like illegal shit or street shit or just some shit that everybody ain't supposed to know everything. You know what I'm saying? Rich Homie Quan, for you to tell somebody that, if that's what you told them, you're fucking foolish. On the contrary, if YSL Woody is lying, I mean, what's new? What the fuck is new with him? You know what I'm saying? He didn't got caught in lies on the stand, literally. And they trying to get, and I understand they trying to get their impeachment in, but they need some facts, man, because him being, when you heard what Brian Steele said, he's a big witness. He's the star witness. That's what he want to say. He's the star witness. And for that to be the star witness, that's what y'all banking on, state. This is like law. This is your facts right here. It don't look good, bro. If you saying that YSL Woody's statements, any of his statements is your facts, to me, it don't look good for the state. At the same time, the jury can go out there and believe what they want to believe. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like his shit ain't credible. It ain't credible. Even if whatever he said in the interrogation room, I mean, how could you even, he is speaking more lucid, more fluent. He ain't stuttering. He ain't talking some, huh? Who, me? He in there just talking. Yeah, because goddamn, that's what Rich Homie Quan said. I be talking to him. Because he just in there just going like, what you, stop telling people y'all business and watch who the fuck you hang around, man. Real shit, bro. And honestly, I don't give a fuck what they showed from the interrogation, in my opinion. His word ain't credible, man. He done got caught in too many lies. I'm just saying. But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments below, man. Should Rich Homie be worried? Y'all let me know. Like, comment, subscribe, notification. I'm going. Yeah.